from Town Station Honey Farm. Today I wanted to take, and when I was growing up, my mom and my mom used to take and can sausage. And I remember when I was growing up, we would have hog killing, and Mom, because we didn't have a freezer at that time, would take and make homemade sausage and pork tenderloin and things like that, and she would can it. Now the frontier women did this for a long time, pioneer women, and it was mainly because they did not have freezers that they could actually store their foods in. But you know, now we have our freezers and things, but you know, for just a quick easy meal, I mean, you can't beat it. Plus, you know, I kind of like the old-fashioned taste. Now, if you're a canner, it is important that anytime, any product that you can, and I have an old Ball Blue book, and this was Mom's. As a matter of fact, I got her little recipe card there. But whenever you have your canning thing, anything from green beans to some type of non-acid product, which is sausage, you've got to make sure that you follow the instructions to the T, because you know, you could get botulism, whatever. Now, canning meat is not a hard process. I took and made this sausage this morning. I took and put, let's see, what all did I put in it? I put pepper, red pepper, cayenne pepper. I put salt, thyme. Now, I didn't put sage in it because whenever you can any kind of sausage, sage will get strong as you do. Can you cut off just a second so I can stir my mincemeat? Okay, sorry, I'm making some mincemeat too, and I'll tell you how to do that one of these days. But I took and made my patties out because I want them to go into a wide mouth pint jar. And for Bruce and I do 4. So just take and fry in your hot skillet. You want to put a brown on the outside of your sausage. Do not cook your sausage all the way through, because it's going to cook in your jar when you put it in the canner to process it. So make sure that you do not take and cook it all the way through. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to let these patties cook, and I'll probably have about 5 jars of it. And what we'll do then, I'll show you how to put it in your jars and get it into your canner. So, see you in a few minutes. Okay, I have got this 1 jar of sausage put in the jar. Now what I did is I got my jar hot out of the dishwasher. And the only thing that you're going to do is fry your sausage till you've got a pretty golden coat on the outside. Put it down in your jars. Now you don't have to worry about putting any broth or anything in there if you do not want to. The reason is your sausage is going to make its own broth. So all you do is take and make sure you've got that. Now, whenever you put that in there, I took my drippings off of my sausage and I put it in my jar, so that way it's starting it out. Make sure you rub your jar lid around the top and around your sides good, because you know, if you have something on there, your jar cannot seal. And then I took and got my jar lids hot. I do not boil my jar lids. I've heard 2 or 3 different things about doing that. I've heard negative things about doing that. I've heard positive things about doing that. Some say that it weakens the rubber on your jar's lids. Others say that it's a real must. I do not do that, but I do have them nice and clean and warm. Now I'm putting my sausage in, and I'm going to fry it, and then I'm going to come back and repeat these patties and put it in the jar. So I'm going to have about 4 jars to can. And then I'm going to show you how to put them in your pressure canner. So we'll be right back. Now, we've got our pressure canner on the hot cap. Now, I have put 6 quarts of water in the canner because as it's processing, I don't want the water to cook dry in there, because if it does, you can have your fluid in your jars to cook out. You can have jar breakage, all kinds of things. So we finished putting all of our sauces in the jar, and we're going to put it inside of our canner. Now, what you want to do now is we're going to put the lid on the canner. And this is a process that I find quite difficult because they're kind of heavy. But you're going to put your canner lid on. Now, make sure that your canner is in good shape. If you're using an old canner, you know, there's a ring in one of these. Make sure that you don't have dry rot or anything like that on there, because that hampers your canner from doing its job. There's all kinds of different canners. You know, I don't know what kind everyone has, but there's nothing to be afraid of with it. So I'll be back in a minute and I'll show you how to get the heat up to where you put your sensor on there. Okay, now we've got our jars in our canner, we've got our lid on our canner. Now, I'm sure you can hear the little swish sound that's coming out of your canner. You want to wait till you see that coming out good, because you want it to have sealed off on the sides, and this is going to be steam that it is releasing. Now, you have a little button right here that's going to show you when pressure is building up in your canner. Now, in this area, it's according to the altitude that you live in, but most of our products that we can always has 10 pounds of pressure in it. So, you hear that? Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to put our little weight on there. Now, you're not going to get burned because you've got a rubber top there. So, a lot of people think, oh, I'm not going to touch that, I'll get burned. Well, hopefully you won't. So, now, we're going to have to leave our canner on going to can this certain product an hour and 15 minutes. Always go by the amount that the canning book tells you to, or you can go to the agriculture thing on agriculture.com or whatever, and they can also give you information on how to can that, or your extension agent. She can help you also. So if you wonder why I keep stirring here, is I'm making mincemeat as I do this. All of our fruits and vegetables are coming up right at the same time, and that's the way it usually works. So, but that's what I'm doing. I've got Mom's recipe for mincemeat, so Thanksgiving we'll have mincemeat pies. But now, getting back to this, we're still waiting. It has not come up enough that I can start counting yet. You'll see like a little bit of water where the steam is not jiggling that. There's a little on the top there. So we don't want to start counting anything until we hear that little constant jiggling. And then we can take and we can turn our timer on for an hour and 15 minutes. Okay, we're set here. We've got our canner going. Hear the little sizzling going on, and next you're going to hear a little bouncing of your weight. Now, when your canner starts to do this, when it's going good, I'm going to let it wait about 3 or 4 more minutes before I start counting my time, because I want it jiggling good. I'm going to turn the temperature down to about a medium so that I can keep the pressure in it. If at any time this little weight will quit jiggling, you have to start all over again. You have to start your canning all over again. Now, I'm not telling anybody, I'm not telling you this is the only way to do it. I'm sure there's ways other people. I'm just telling you how my mom taught me. And so far it's worked well for me. So, but we are going to let this particular sausage, this product, since it's a non-acid food, it's going to process 1 hour and 15 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure in my canner. After this, I'm going to show you how to take it out and how to take it out safely. You just don't want to go ripping that weight or anything off. So I'll see you in about 1 hour and 15 minutes. Okay, now your canner has stopped. You've taken it off the burner and it's been sitting here about half an hour. Now you will see that this little red button that's right here on the handle is down. That's showing that there is no pressure inside that. Now you see that this had no jingling, no steam or anything's coming out. So you know that it has no more steam inside the canner. So you know that it's safe to remove your lid. Now you're going to see what your sausage looks like. Let me grab my and here's your canned sausage. You can see all of the broth that has worked up in it, and you can see it boiling inside that jar. So that way you know that your sausage processed well. So now you just take your jars out. Now there's on the lid there's a little kind of a bubble type thing that kind of comes out. Whenever that seals, you're going to hear a pop, and that will sink down, and that means your jar is sealed. Now, if it does not seal, excuse me, Courtney, if it doesn't seal, make sure that you go on and use your product because it will not keep. Okay, that's canning sausage the old-fashioned way at Cowan Station Honey Farm, and we'll talk to you later.